The world wakes to the thunder of war. American F-35S and cruise missiles have struck deep inside Iran. The shadow war is now open conflict, a moment feared for decades. The stakes are global. The Strait of Hormuz, lifeline for a fifth of the world's oil, is at risk. Shockwaves ripple through markets and boardrooms worldwide. This is not a distant crisis, it's a clash between a superpower and a resilient nation with powerful regional proxies. The potential for miscalculation is immense, and escalation could ignite the entire Middle East. Years of fragile diplomacy have failed. Violence now speaks where dialogue once tried. The human cost, lives lost, futures destroyed, will be staggering. Tensions are already high, military assets poised, rhetoric belligerent. A single spark, a drone downed, a misstep at sea, could trigger catastrophe. Understanding this chain of events is vital to preventing disaster. War rarely erupts from a single spark, it's a cascade of failures. Imagine nuclear diplomacy collapsing. IAEA inspectors expelled Iran's nuclear sites hidden from the world. Washington sees a dash for a bomb, a red line crossed. Military incidents escalate. IRGC boats harass U.S. ships, drones are shot down, tankers sabotaged. Each incident pushes both sides closer to war. Iran's proxies, Hezbollah Houthis, strike U.S. allies with evidence pointing to Tehran. The White House frames a strike as a last resort to prevent a nuclear Iran, protect allies, and restore deterrence. The public is told it's a defensive measure, not aggression. Diplomacy, deterrence, and trust have all failed. This is how the pretext for war is built. The U.S. launches a campaign of shock and awe. Stealth bombers and cruise missiles target Iran's military and nuclear infrastructure. Air defenses, command centers, and underground sites are hit with precision. Simultaneously, U.S. Navy missiles rain down on IRGC bases and ports. The goal: cripple Iran's response in the opening hours. Iran retaliates immediately. Missiles target U.S. bases in Qatar, UAE, Bahrain, and Iraq. The IRGC Navy swarms the Strait of Hormuz, laying mines and launching anti-ship attacks. Cyber warfare erupts, targeting western banks and infrastructure, spreading chaos far beyond the battlefield. Iran's air defenses challenge U.S. air superiority, making the skies deadly and contested. Within 48 hours, escalation is rapid and brutal. What began as a surgical strike becomes a sustained air and naval campaign. Both sides are forced into a deadly, unpredictable dance. The lines of pre-war planning dissolve in the chaos of real combat. The world watches as the conflict spirals. The risk of further escalation grows with every hour. The Gulf is now a war zone. The first bombs on Iran ignite the entire Middle East. Iran's true power lies in its network of proxies. Hezbollah in Lebanon, Shia militias in Iraq and Syria. Hezbollah unleashes rockets on Israel, opening a devastating second front. U.S. forces in Iraq and Syria come under relentless attack. Bases become fortresses under siege. Sectarian violence threatens to reignite civil wars, destabilizing fragile states. The fight against ISIS is forgotten as a new conflict consumes the region. Iran moves to close the Strait of Hormuz, choking global oil supply. Oil prices skyrocket, triggering a global recession and political instability. Millions are displaced, creating a humanitarian crisis across borders. Regional diplomacy collapses. The Middle East is engulfed in multi-front war. The world faces chaos with no clear end. The world reacts with shock and division. The UN Security Council is paralyzed. Russia and China condemn the US, vetoing resolutions. Europe is horrified and divided. Allies like France and Germany denounce the strike, fearing refugees and economic shock. The UK offers tepid support, but alliances are strained to the breaking point. China and Russia seize the moment, backing Iran to weaken the US and shift global power. The war accelerates the move toward a multipolar world, with America seen as reckless and isolated. Global markets crash, oil prices soar, and inflation spikes. Supply chains shatter, recession looms, and developing nations suffer most. International institutions scramble to contain the fallout. The global order faces its greatest test since 2008. This war would not be short or clean. It would be a grinding, unwinnable struggle. Iran's regime, hardened by past wars, would not collapse. Instead, hardliners would be emboldened. The US faces a grim choice: accept stalemate or escalate, risking a ground invasion. The specter of nuclear escalation looms. Tehran, attacked, races for a bomb. The world faces a nightmare: allow Iran to go nuclear or escalate further, even to tactical nukes. The human cost would be immense: civilians, soldiers, and entire generations scarred. A ground war would mean hundreds of thousands of casualties and decades of occupation. Trauma and hatred would define a new era. No victory could justify the devastation, failed states, or nuclear risk. War with Iran is a trap, catastrophe at best, apocalypse at worst. Only diplomacy offers hope. The true cost of war is one the world cannot afford.